Welcome back to the Shreveport Connection, and if you didn't know, my name is Tommy, and this may be our last evening in this little room that I'm doing my videos on because I'm moving, but it will still kind of look the same in just a different, bigger room. And this will be about WB. What happened after SummerSlam went off the air, and where's WWE News and Raw and Superstars results. And here we go. After last night's SummerSlam pay-per-view went off the air, Ricardo Rodriguez announced Alberto Del Rio as the new WWE Champion and put the belt around his waist. Well, CM Punk was in the ring with the briefcase. He looked confused and sad. Punk got up and walked out to a mixed reaction. He picked up the case, set it down on the ring stairs, and walked up the ramp. Punk's music played as he walked up the ramp in disappointment. Punk saluted the crowd and headed to the back. Justin Roberts then thanked everyone for coming to end the program. Okay, WWE News has WWE officials has suspended the Tough Enough winner, Andy Devine, according to a report by Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com. It has yet to be officially announced, but the wellness policy suspension. Devine had a drug test and guess it became positive for some type of drugs he's been taking. And it has not been publicly announced by WWE yet, because they're looking for a storyline to announced probably later on tomorrow night's show or something. May not even be until next week. Well, so it'll be interesting to see whether WWE gets around the announcing the suspension, or just to let it go to the side and see if everybody forgets about what happened. And to see if it even affects whatever push that they had in mind for him, either speed it up or get rid of him. And also, they have suspended a referee. Supposedly, this is the first ever referee suspension for 30 days, violating the wellness policy. None other than Michael Chioda. Official statement is on WWE.com about that one, though. Okay, former AWA and WWE wrestler, Jumping Jim Bronzell, turned 62 on Saturday. He was born on August the 13th, 1949, and he still wrestled over the weekend, I believe. Well, he also worked in the WWE as one half of the Killer Bees tag team. His partner was B. Brian Blair, if you didn't know. And teamed with Greg Gagne in the AWA promotion as the High Flyers. Former ECW and WWE wrestler Spike Dudley, a.k.a. Matt Hyson, turned 41 on Saturday. He was born August 13, 1970. Former WWE champion Bob Backlund turned 62 on Sunday. Heck, I thought he was in his 70s. He was born August 14th, 1949. Well, I did report his birthday on the SummerSlam report. Backlund defeated Ken Patera in a match held earlier Saturday morning at the Juggalo's Championship Wrestling, JCW, Legends and Icons event that was held as part of the gathering. Legendary tag team wrestler Bobby Eaton also reported on yesterday's pay-per-view. He turned 53 on yesterday. And he was, if you're not familiar with him, he's former tag team member with the Midnight Express. And yes, Jim Cornette was their manager. He was born August 14, 1958. Eaton also had worked in the same pay-per-view in a brief losing effort to arch rival Rock and Roll Express. And yes, the Rock and Roll Express were back together after a couple of years breakup. And that's Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton. The late Eddie Gilbert would have been 50 years old on Sunday. He was born August the 14th, 1961. He died February 18th, 1995, following a heart attack. Well, Stan sent word that there was 1 hour and 24 minutes of in-ring action at last night's SummerSlam pay-per-view. Down from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Unknown about that one. Heck, I thought it would be most of it. And Carlos sent word that the Spanish broadcaster that was on the pay-per-view, his name is Marcelo Rodriguez, made his WWE pay-per-view debut at last night's SummerSlam on the Spanish broadcast team with Carlos Cabrera. So now you got Marcelo and Carlos. Rodriguez has been working for the WWE since 2000 on international versions of Raw and SmackDown Plus, hosting the WWE Experience recap show in Latin America. So the WWE Experience program is still running. I had seen it online, actually on TV on one of the Latin channels within the last year, and plain forgot about it. Well, now for your results and spoilers for Raw version of Superstars. Thanks to Robert Perry and Chris Kenyon, not Canyon, they were at the Raw tapings tonight, and there were no dark matches. As I'll remind you again that there were no dark matches. As it was in San Diego, California, and are sending in results every 5 or 10 minutes of the Superstars taping. Basically, there was only 2 matches. Santino Marella defeated Primo. Santino won with a Cobra. Crowd was way into it. And Zack Ryder, again on Superstars, defeated Drew McIntyre. So as he get his push, Ryder hit his Rough Rider finisher and got a win. And what you've all been waiting for? The drum roll, please, in here. Raw open with the still footage and a look back at the WWE title match from SummerSlam, where CM Punk defeated John Cena, who momentarily got powerbombed by Kevin Nash, and then Del Rio cashing in the Money in the Bank to become the new WWE champion. Or I should say Raw champion, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, we're live from Valley View Casino Center in San Diego. As the pyro goes off, Michael Cole welcomes us to Raw. Triple H music hits, and out he comes to kick off Raw. JR and Jerry Lawler are with Cole on commentary. And yeah, JR was back. I guess he just took yesterday's pay-per-view off. He commented, but I haven't read it yet. I wasn't too interested anyway. Alright, Triple H was in the ring. He said he understands people are upset about how SummerSlam ended last night. And then he apologized to the fans and to John Cena, who didn't even make an appearance until the end of Raw. He said he made a mistake after watching replays, saw that John Cena's foot was indeed on the ropes. Triple H says he will look Cena in the eye tonight, which he does not, and apologize. At least that I did not see. He says Cena and CM Punk were having a great match last night, and if he wouldn't have screwed it up, he doesn't know who would have won. Triple H then says he had nothing to do with what else happened. He admits he is friends with Kevin Nash and left tickets for him at the will call window. Triple H says that Nash called him and asked him to leave a few tickets to SummerSlam, and that's what he did. And that was the last he spoke to him. Triple H says he had no knowledge that Nash was going to attack Punk. Triple H says he hasn't spoke to Nash, but has invited him via text message to explain himself on Raw tonight. He also says that he didn't know about Del Rio cashing in. Triple H says he promised the world a week ago that when SummerSlam was over, there would be only one undisputed champion. And here he is, and he introduces immediately Alberto Del Rio, and Triple H leaves the ring, heads to the back. Out comes Del Rio walking down the ramp with the title. No introduction from Ricardo Rodriguez, and no car, because they're saving that for his match that he comes out later on in the evening. The new WWE Champion enters the ring and introduces himself to us. Alberto Del Rio, the undisputed WWE Champion. Del Rio has been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. It was his destiny to become WWE Champion. And he says it was never his intention to cash in the Money in the Bank at SummerSlam. He says destiny does whatever it wants. Plus, after what Kevin Nash did, Del Rio says he couldn't resist. Some people are just born to greatness. He says, well, then he says he wants to represent each one of the fans with respect, honesty, with passion, and the crowd isn't buying it. Del Rio says he will sign autographs for all the fans with respect. And they boo. And he will also take pictures with all the kids. They give that a mixed reaction. Then Del Rio says that's the kind of champion he wants to be, a champion for his people. Mixed reaction again. Del Rio brings up his match tonight against Rey Mysterio, and Rey's name gets a big pop from his hometown crowd. Del Rio says he is happy he gets to defend against Rey Mysterio, and Rey's name gets a big pop from his hometown crowd. Del Rio says he is happy he gets to defend first against Mysterio because we all love Mysterio. Del Rio says he loves Mysterio. A big 619 chant breaks out from the crowd. Del Rio says he loves Rey again, but adds that he loves beating Mysterio. Del Rio says he began his WWE career beating Mysterio. And when he wakes up in the morning, he feels like beating Rey Mysterio again. Well, that's exactly what he's going to do tonight, he says. Then he says the people need to change their area code because there's no more 619 after tonight. Their new hero will be him, the undisputed WWE Champion, after tonight. Del Rio drops the mic and continues to show off as his music hits. And Michael Cole hypes Del Rio versus Mysterio for later on tonight. Then we see Triple H backstage entering John Cena's locker room, but I see no John Cena. And they take a commercial break. Falls Count Anywhere match was up next. R-Truth versus John Morrison, a rematch. But it's Falls Count Anywhere. Back from the break, out comes R-Truth to a remix version of his What's Up theme song. It starts out with him saying, "The truth has set me free." Truth makes his way out for a Falls Count Anywhere match. Out next comes his opponent, John Morrison. And yes, he's still talking about being Jimmy Mouth of the South from last night during the pay-per-view. They show a side video of John Morrison earlier in the day talking about how he was going to take Truth out on his terms tonight. The bell rang and they lock up, going to the corner. Truth kicked Morrison and hits him with a right hand. Morrison comes fighting back, and they go at it. Truth with a big hip toss. Truth missed a leg drop. Morrison misses a kick, and Truth rolls him up for a 2 count. Another roll-up for 2 by Morrison this time. Morrison clotheslines Truth out to the floor. Morrison corkscrews over the top rope and lands on Truth. 2 count on the floor by Morrison since it's a Falls Count Anywhere. Morrison continues to beat up Truth on the outside. Morrison leaps off the fan barrier and kicks Truth to the floor. This was after R-Truth had did a split to duck a clothesline from Morrison outside the ring, and when he continued on to the ring barrier and then did the ring barrier kick. Okay. Morrison continued to beat up Truth on the outside, leaped off. Okay, right there. Morrison goes for a suplex on the floor, but Truth blocks it and did a suplex. It almost looked like a suplex of his own. Because it was like in the middle of a suplex. Truth dropped Morrison hard on his face. A 2 count by Truth on the floor. Truth looks around crazy as we go back to commercial. Back from the break, and Truth is still in control on the floor and gets another 2 count. During the break, Truth jumped Morrison from the turnbuckles out to the floor. Truth wails away on Morrison's neck now. Truth with more pin attempts on the floor. Truth with a running knee. Truth sets Morrison up on the fan barrier and clotheslines him off of it. And over into the crowd. Truth with a pin attempt on the concrete now. Truth brings Morrison back in the ring, back to the ringside area. But Morrison catches him with a kick to the head. 2 count by Morrison. Truth gets up and slams Morrison into the steel steps. Truth pushes an office chair over. Where he got the office chair, I guess it was from one of the announcers' tables. Truth pushed an office chair over, but Morrison clotheslines him in the office chair for a 2 count. Morrison suplexes Truth into the chair, leaving him still sitting in it. Morrison runs back and hits Truth with a big knee to the face for the pin on the floor and the win. As when the chair falls, it's a pinfall. After that, they went to a break, and then back from the break, they get WrestleMania 22 replay where Rey Mysterio won the World Championship title. JR hypes tonight's title match with Del Rio and Mysterio. Then we go to the ring, and out comes The Miz. Miz says he is out here tonight because he has been asked by someone to say hello to someone else in the audience. Well, that's none other than Jared from Subway. And he's at ringside. Miz says Jared is a big fan of his, but Jared shakes his hand. Miz says he isn't a fan of Jared and can do his job better than him. Miz says he can be a better Subway spokesperson than Jared, and then he goes to Jared at ringside and grabs the sub sandwich out of Jared's hand and says that's some type of chicken, whatever they call it. The commercial is played later on in the show. Miz got a promo on the sub sandwich, and he said that's better than anything Jared has ever done. Miz tells the Subway executives that's the reason Subway's new sub is trending, is him. Miz says he will be a champion again because he's the Miz and he's awesome. Miz takes a few bites out of the sub and his music plays. And he says, pretty good sandwich, but I didn't see no meat out of it unless I was bread and a little bit of lettuce. Well, then they cut outside the arena and a limousine pulls up outside and Kevin Nash steps out wearing his blue jeans and boots. As they pan up to his face and he's walking away from the camera. Nash makes his way through the backstage area and they cut back to commercial. Or cut to commercial. Back from the break, and Cole hypes the fact that Triple H, Punk, and Nash are all here. We see country singer Trace Atkins at ringside. Kelly and Eve Torres versus the Bella Twins were up next. And they go to the ring, and out comes the Divas champion, Kelly with her partner Eve Torres. Out next come their opponents, the Bella Twins. Kelly starts things out with one of the Bella Twins. They look ugly. They lock up and go to the corner. Kelly with kicks and a head scissors. Take down. Kelly hits a bulldog and a stink face in the corner. How can you do a stink face with a PG rating? Okay. Bella's come back and leg whips Kelly. Bella's tag out and continue working on Kelly's leg. 2 count by the Bellas. Bree continues working on Kelly's leg. Kelly comes back and drops Bella on her face. Eve finally gets a tag and hits a drop kick and a clothesline. Bella's double team Eve, but She comes back with a neck breaker. Kelly runs in and takes out the other twin. Eve hits a moonsault over the other for the win. And when Kelly came in, it was Taz press, and then Bella rolled out to the floor. Well, so Eve and Kelly win the match. Well, after the match, Eve and Kelly are celebrating in the ring, posing to the fans, and Beth Phoenix's music hits, and both Beth and Natalya come out wearing dresses. They're like black dresses. Wow. And they applaud Eve and Kelly as a two diva tag team. And then they just stare down their opponents in the ring. Cole says that Kevin Nash will speak next. Back to commercial. Back from the break. And Justin Roberts introduces Kevin Nash as a former WWE champion, WCW champion, and one of the most influential stars in history. Nash makes his way out with no music and enters the ring. And he's not got his hair slicked back like he has in the past. And it's like the Diesel character. Well, it's his natural brown hair this time. Nash is in the ring now, and he thanks his good friend Triple H for letting him come here to speak about last night. Nash informs everyone that he and Triple H have been friends for almost 20 years, and Triple H is the godfather to his son. Nash says he asked Triple H for tickets to SummerSlam. Nash says he was watching and then got a text message right before the main event. The text said, "Hey, big man, no matter what happens, stick the winner in the main event." Well, Nash indicated that this message came from a friend. Nash tells CM Punk what he did. What he did last night was just business. Nash says he arrived tonight, and Triple H is denying that he knew about Nash running in last night. Nash says he and Triple H need to get on the same page. Nash goes to leave, and then Punk's music hits, and out he comes. Punk stops on the stage with a mic. Punk asks Nash if he expects him to believe that load of crap that he just said. Punk says Nash and Triple H are best friends. He's not buying it either. Punk mocks Nash and Triple H, saying that he's going to do what's best for business. Then a Punk chant breaks out from the crowd. Punk says he's always thought Triple H didn't know what's good for business, and he's heard that Nash doesn't know what's good for business either. Punk says Nash is standing proof that he doesn't know what's good for business. Nash says this is the first time that they have spoke, and Punk needs to watch his mouth. Punk says Nash needs to watch the show. He says, and what he does is what he wants. And nobody can stop it. Well, Nash says Punk's world just changed. Punk says Nash's story proves Triple H is a liar. Nash says he will show Punk the text message on his phone. Punk jokes back and reads a fake text message from his sister. Well, I thought it said it was from his daughter myself. And how she thought Nash was dead. Since nobody's heard from him since TNA. Punk says it's just Nash's career that's dead. Punk says he's pissed at people he says he's pissed at people, but not Alberto Del Rio, because he's done the same thing before when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Well, Punk says clearly Triple H is bringing back his cronies. Nash says all Triple H has done is shake things up. Punk says no, he's the one who did. Nash says Punk is an indie-rific wannabe. Nash says Punk has only been here 5 years and in 2 main events. Punk brings up how Nash said in the past Eddie Guerrero wasn't a main event talent. Punk says it's 2001, not back in the day. It's 2011, not back in the day. Nash brings up how he and Scott Hall changed the business in 1996 and made way for guys like Punk to make money these days. Nash continues to put down Punk and says he looks like a cook from Waffle House. Punk says Nash put his hands on him, and that's not good. And that was at last night's pay-per-view. Punk says he would rather be himself than show up somewhere as Oz, Vinny Vegas, or Diesel. Punk says if Nash wants a fight, they can do it tonight. Punk marches up to the ring, but security gets in between. And yeah, there's like 8 to 10 guys blocking the way at the bottom of the ramp. Punk says he isn't surprised Triple H has deemed Nash untouchable because he didn't call the security out. It must have been Triple H. Punk says he will go find out from the COO himself. And then Punk's music hits as he stares down Nash from the ramp. And then they go to break. Back from the break, and Kevin Nash walks into Triple H's locker room, but he's not there. Somebody else is there. John Laurinaitis walks in and it says that Triple H is in a meeting. Laurinaitis says the way Punk talked to him last night and Nash tonight is unacceptable. Laurinaitis wants to talk to Nash about something in private, and they walk out of his office. Or walk off to his office. And up next was Alex Riley versus Jack Swagger. We go to the ring. Out comes Alex Riley first. U.S. Champion Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero walk out next, and they're doing commentary. Out next is Swagger. Bell rings and they lock up. Swagger takes Riley to the corner and beats him down. Riley turns it around and beats down Swagger. Riley with forearms off the ropes, and Swagger kicks Riley's leg out and drops him on the shoulder. Swagger with a Swagger bomb out of the corner and more double axe handles. More back and forth. Swagger with a side slam for 2. Swagger goes back to work on the arm. Swagger runs the ropes, but Riley hits him with a spine buster. Riley with a pair of clotheslines and a big slam on Swagger. Vicky takes gets off of her chair, walks around Dolph and takes JR's cowboy hat right off his head. And it walks around to the ringside. As Riley is getting a 2 count in the ring, Vicky puts the hat on and parades, like I said, to the ringside. Then she gets on the apron to distract the referee, and Riley is trying to pin Swagger. Swagger recovers, takes advantage of the distraction, and after a few attempts, hits Riley with a gut wrench for the win. It was a sloppy, botched 4-time gut wrench power bomb. And your winner was Jack Swagger. Then we got a flashback of Rey Mysterio beating The Miz for the WWE title. Back to commercial. And back from the break, Jack Swagger catches up with Vicky Guerrero backstage. He thanks her for her help. I did not see this part. She says she was trying to prove to Dolph. Swagger says she doesn't have to prove anything to Dolph. Swagger says Vicky looks great and she's a great manager. He says all the great managers like Bobby Heenan and Freddie Blassie had multiple clientele. Swagger says Vicky should think about expanding her roster and walks off as she smiles. We go to a video package with highlights from Access and SummerSlam weekend. Then we see CM Punk walk into Triple H's locker room, and Stephanie is there. She apologizes for him losing the title last night. Stephanie says, in the end, people get what they deserve and walk off. They were talking about their actions and what have you. Well, this is my guess who actually sent the actual text message to Kevin Nash. And up next was Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne defeating the tag team champions in a non-title match. And this was back from a commercial break. And out first came Kofi Kingston, followed by his partner Evan Bourne. Out next comes Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga. Their music played in the This was eerie, kind of like darkness, because it was like a blackish orange, lighting for their entrance. So they enter the ring. This is a non-title match. Kofi and McGillicuddy start things out and go to the corner. McGillicuddy with a big right hand. Kofi fights it back, takes control before tagging in Bourne for some double teaming. Bourne comes back and kicks with a high knee until McGillicuddy knocks him down and starts stomping, and Otunga tagged in for some double teaming for them. Otunga continues the assault on Bourne and stops him from tagging in with a clothesline. And then another. Otunga taunts Bourne and hits another clothesline for 2. Otunga tags back in and they double team Bourne in the corner again. McGillicuddy steps on Bourne's head and runs his mouth to Kofi. Suplex by McGillicuddy and another 2 count. Bourne fights back, but McGillicuddy stops him. Bourne ducks the clothesline and tags in Kofi. Kofi comes in and takes out both of the tag champs. Drop kicks the forearms for McGillicuddy. Kofi misses a splash in the corner, but kicks a charging McGillicuddy in the head. Kofi with a big shot from the top rope for a 2 count. As Otunga breaks a pin, Kofi kicks Otunga to the floor. McGillicuddy drop kicks Kofi into a tagging Bourne. It was a blind tag. Well, McGillicuddy goes down, and Bourne nails Airborne for the non-title win. Like I said, they won. We see Rey Mysterio backstage getting ready for the main event as they go to commercial. Yeah, there wasn't but like 5 matches tonight. Undisputed WWE title match, Rey Mysterio versus Alberto Del Rio. Justin Roberts introduces Ricardo Rodriguez to begin the introduction for Alberto Del Rio. WWE Champion comes in with driving a red Ferrari. Del Rio makes his way to the ring. Out next comes Rey Mysterio with a big pop from the hometown crowd. Bell rings and they lock up. Del Rio goes behind, but Rey reverses it. Del Rio ends up on the floor and Rey drop kicks him for 2. Another roll up for Rey. Del Rio drops him with the right hand and stomps away. Del Rio whips Rey hard into the turnbuckles and then he goes down. Rey slides through Del Rio's legs and drops him into position for the 619. Rey goes for it, but Del Rio rolls out to the floor and they figure it was a good place for a commercial. Back from the break, you have Del Rio already has Rey in a body scissors and is trying to rip his mask off. Well, then they show a little window showing during the break what happened. Del Rio suplex Rey over the fan barrier outside. Rey fall out of the scissors and drops Del Rio face first into the corner. Rey runs and drop kicks Del Rio in the face. Rey goes to the top, but Del Rio knocks him down. Del Rio climbed up, but Rey fought him off. Rey hit a big tornado DDT from the top, and both men are down. Rey with a springboard crossbody for another 2 count. Rey rolled Del Rio up for yet another pin attempt. Del Rio gets up and kicks Rey hard in the ribs. Del Rio stalls and covers Rey for a 2. Del Rio takes Rey back to the mat with body scissors. Rey fights out of the hold again and kicks Del Rio in the head. Del Rio charges with a drop kick, but Rey moves and he slides through the ropes. Down to the floor. Well, Rey runs the ropes and now drop kicks Del Rio to the floor. Rey springboard moonsaults. Now from the apron to the floor, taking out Del Rio. Rey brings it back in the ring and climbs to the top. Rey comes down with a senton and then head scissors. Rey goes for a 619, but Del Rio clothesline him out of nowhere for a 2 count. And another 2 count from Del Rio. Del Rio shoves Rey back in the corner and charges, but Rey puts his knees up. Del Rio catches Rey in a big backbreaker for a 2 count. Del Rio continues to the assaults with right hands and shoulder thrust in the corner. Del Rio takes Rey to the top turnbuckle, steps back and hits a running enziguri. Rey falls to the mat and Del Rio covers for a 2. Del Rio with the arm breaker, but Rey rolls him up for a 2. Del Rio comes right back with a drop kick. The crowd starts chanting 619 for Rey. Del Rio goes for the arm breaker again. Rey ends up on his shoulders and drops him for the 619. Ray nails it and goes to the top. Ray comes down with a splash, but Del Rio caught him with a knee. He caught him as his knee is up. Ray lands so hard, and Del Rio just rolls him up out of the air for the pin and the win to retain. Well, after the match, Del Rio attacked with Mysterio some more, and then goes to take his mask off, which he actually doesn't make it. Del Rio hits an arm breaker on Ray. Ray falls out to the floor, Del Rio follows, continuing to work on his arm. Del Rio brings Ray back in the ring and applies his arm breaker finisher. The referee tries to get Del Rio to break the hold, but he won't. This is where they should have disqualified him and reversed the decision. Well, it didn't happen. John Cena comes out for the save, and actually the fans go crazy just for the save alone, not because they don't like him. And Del Rio sends him. He's wearing his red shirt this time, sending him out of the ring. Cena says he's coming off one hell of a weekend and has a bunch of reasons to be pissed off. It should be Triple H, but no, he's pissed off at some scumbag like Del Rio. After two guys like Punk and Cena leave it all in the ring, Del Rio goes to business for himself. Well, when Cena was in the ring, Del Rio ends up having Cena's shirt as he's escaping up the rampway. Cena said Del Rio is not a champion. He is a target. Cena says Del Rio will realize that holding on to the WWE title makes every person he knows his enemy. Cena says eventually... No. I'm going to go back. I skipped a line. Okay. Holding. Cena says Punk earned the right to be called a champion, but Del Rio cashed in a briefcase and got lucky. Cena says Del Rio will eventually have to defend the title, and if it's against him, Del Rio won't be so lucky. Del Rio is about to find out that Cena drops the mic and his music hits as the WWE champion mounts back from the stage. And that was the end of the TV part, the taping of Raw. And this is what happened after TV, where TV ended. CM Punk came out and gave Alberto Del Rio the GTS. And then John Cena gave Del Rio the Attitude Adjustment. I guess they made it to the ring for this. Punk was in street clothes. Ricardo tried to take the belt, but Punk and Cena played a game of keep away. Ricardo also took the Attitude Adjustment and the GTS. Punk gave the belt to Cena. Then a Cena sucks chant broke out, and Punk received a huge pop. And a CM Punk chant started up. Cena and Punk left the title belt in the ring to close the show. There were no pre- or post-show dark matches. And that ends my Raw results. Thank you. And I'm going to post the video for TNA Impact for the third week. Not this coming week, not this Thursday, but next Thursdays.